Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Have you, and pinkies up if you've decided on your word of the year, and put it, if you would, right there in our, drop it in the comment. Do you have a word of the year? I'm going to be sharing mine with you here in just a minute. And anyway, so today's what we're going to be talking about is a Steve Jobs quote that enough is Flynn's. I love it. Pinky's up for Flynn. That's a great one. Really great one. Yeah, there's so many things that you can take out of that. Enough as enough, no more. I'm not going to do this. And enough as I am enough. I'm more than enough. Keep going. Eileen's word is intentional. Kimberly's got revitalize. I love that. Lucy, unstoppable is my highest candidate. She says, that's mine. Lucy, that's mine. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Alice's word of the year is self. And Diane's got selective. Oh, I love that, Diane. That's so good. Yay. Oh, Margaret, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. I haven't seen you in a while. Anyway, good words of the year. You know, they do set us up for success because it gives us a different focus and a different mindset. So I love stuff like that. Anyway, so today I'm going to be talking about my word unstoppable a little bit. And this quote, we're here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why else even be here? That's what Steve Jobs said. And I've got a couple of books here that I'm reading. I've got a little stack of books that I brought with me for our trip that I'm reading. And, you know, one of the things that I have just been really in tune with was this notion of, you know, consistency, persistence. And with consistency in place, that was my word of the year last year, with persistence in place, not giving up because it's getting tough, then you get to this place of unstoppability. And this is quantum physics, right? We're looking at momentum and unstoppable momentum. So this is what we're going to be talking about all this week. Oh my goodness, Margaret, what a great word. Her word is authentic. I love that. I love that. Beautiful word. What else does everybody else have? I'd love you to share them. If you have a word of the year that you'd like to share, just go ahead and drop it in the chat. We'll be looking at it all. Hi, Space Girl. Blessing Saint, she says. Anyway, so we're here to put a dent in the universe. And that goes back to, you've heard me talk about this before, that putting a dent in the universe really is, we're here on purpose and for purpose, correct? We are fearfully and wonderfully made. So if we're fearfully and wonderfully made, put here on purpose and for purpose, at this exact time for, you know, there's a reason. And our reason is, it is up to us to determine what that dent in the universe is about. A dent in the universe. I just love that. It resonates with me. It tingles. It really does. I love that one. Martha's here. Martha and Corliss are both here. I love it. I love that you guys are here. And Martha, and look at, did you see right there? Amber's is growth. What a good word. That's another one that's still good. Yes. I was going to use sleep, but I'm already doing better in that area. So, okay. Well, Joanne, you will come up with a good word. I know you will. But let's talk about this because my word of the year is unstoppable. And I'm looking at different ways to plug the word unstoppable into every single one of my goals. That's one of the things that I'm doing. I'm going to be teaching that in the workshop, by the way. Hi, Gloria. So good to see you. So The dictionary defines unstoppable as impossible to stop or prevent. Impossible to stop or prevent. And when you think about momentum and you think about how it just keeps going and going, and, you know, in an avalanche situation, it just keeps going long. It gets, you know, bigger and bigger, and the snowball just keeps going down the hill. Hey, Vanessa, you know how that whole thing is, but it's impossible to stop that kind of momentum, isn't it? Impossible. Or to prevent it, or to do anything, to pull a plug from it. It's just, it's going to keep going. And that's what I want. And that's the vision that I see for my life, and the vibrant vision boards that I'm creating right now, with all these words and with things that I need to see to create this unstoppability. I've got several really, and I will share them. I'm going to be sharing them actually on the workshop, because I'm going to, you know, be teaching from my own goals to show you how I put all of this stuff together, because I think, you know, it's massively important. So if I'm going to put a dent in the universe, as Mr. Jobs suggests I might want to consider doing, then I'm going to have to create an unstoppable attitude about absolutely everything. And that's why I love this word unstoppable so much, because an unstoppable attitude plugged in to every area of life is going to get the results. It's, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but it's darn well going to be excellent, isn't it? So how does one become unstoppable then? That's the big question. How do you make that happen? Well, the first thing I wrote down is that you see the possibility, not the implausibility, because oftentimes what do we focus on? Things that we don't want, or things that we, you know, are saying, all the things that are holding us back and the reasons we can't do it. Is that really true though? Is it? Or where is all of our energy going then? Our energy is going toward the thing we don't want. You think about that. There's no sense. There's no logic to that. But honestly, that's just human nature. It's what we do. We focus on the things that we don't have. That's why, you know, my parents used to say, money doesn't grow on trees. It was constantly focused on the lack of. That's how I grew up. And so I always figured money was evil. Money was, you know, hard to come by, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just not. It's just not. It's what your beliefs are about money, for example. What your beliefs are, it's what you will, your reticular activating system is going to pick that up, and that's what's going to make it so. That's just how that whole thing works. Delight is your word, June. Oh my gosh, what a good one. I love that one so much. It's everything. Yeah, if you delight in everything, can you imagine? That'll make you pretty darn unstoppable. That's what I have to say about that. So I've been looking for ways to lose the notion of obstacles, to lose this foolishness and excuses, because I've given myself far too many breaks this whole 2021. 2021 was a little bit of a repeat of 2020, a little bit, not maybe quite as much as it was, but if I look only for possibility, then I can keep my eyes on the prize and on the target. But if I'm looking for ways to wiggle out, well, I'm gonna see the implausible. Well, that's just not gonna work. You know, who do I think I am? This, that, and the other. Have you ever done that? And you talk yourself out of something that you really want because you don't want to be disappointed. You ever had that happen? I've done that, and I noticed that about myself as I was going through and doing an assessment of this whole year. What, you know, where could I go and do a little bit better? How can I make this work for me? And what I've noticed was I gave myself too much slack. It's fine to give yourself slack. We all need grace. Amen. But we also need to recognize when we're giving ourselves grace and when we're just looking for an excuse. And I'm just, you know, I'm being a little tough on myself right now, but I am looking at this. If I'm going to be unstoppable, then I'm going to have to start looking only at possibility. Number 2 is consistency and persistence. So consistency is just showing up, right? Every single day, show up, show up, show up, show up, show up, show up. But persistence, on the other hand, is doing it when it's hard. So consistency and persistence are two things that go into the unstoppable formula. That's what I've been looking at. So we have to look at those things. Number three, I got this from Joe Dispenza, who, I absolutely adore Joe Dispenza because he's such a brainiac. I highly recommend everybody read some of his books. It all depends on how you view the obstacles. If you know you're unstoppable, you can plow through them. It's true. Yep. Amen. Amen to that. But number three is grow your brain. Now, here is something that I bet you didn't know, and this is really fascinating. There is a book by Dr. John Ratey, Ratey. He wrote The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise and the Brain. And here's what he found. There's this thing called BDNF, if you've ever heard of that, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And all this is this is the magic sauce for neurogenesis, making your brain grow. Did you know? Remember, we were told when we were young that we have a set intellect and that's it. You can't grow your intellect. Not true. Yes, you can. You can grow your brain. You can grow your intellect. You can grow your memory. You can grow all of this. Because if your brain can grow, then your other part that, this is what makes it happen. So exercise is absolutely the best thing that you can use to help grow your brain. I love this because I'm continuing. I am an athlete this year into 2022. And I love this because if I'm going to grow my brain, if I'm going to stay really consistent and really be an athlete, I'm going to be really smart at the end of all of this. So I'm going to go kind of bonkers on this whole deal, and let's, make it happen. We need more brain magic sauce, right? I mean, and we always feel good afterwards. We always feel better after we've done all of this. But you know what the deal is? It's also growing your brain. It's not just the endorphins. You also get the benefit of BDNF. But number four is even more important. And this is where you kind of compound effect. Okay. So if you're exercising and you're doing all the things that you need to do and you're getting your exercise in as you should be, start listening to books, start reading some more. I've decided to grow my reading list this year. And my goal is a book a month. I might get 2 in depending on what I have. But the reason why is that the books, this BDNF encourages brain growth. So you need something for your brain to grow into, right? So this is the muscle that keeps at it. And so that's my plan for this year, is to just keep this up, because BDNF, when you add in it the compound effect of extra reading, then you're going to grasp that even more, and you're going to give something for your mind to expand. Isn't that fascinating? I love that. Number 5 is to visualize, and this is where you get into the vibrancy, but help me out here. The vibrant vision boards. Vision boards hold the keys to what we're all about. And I'll tell you, the more you can go into really getting worked up about this, the more emotions, the more feelings, and even adding your senses in it. Like one thing, I had a girlfriend who wanted a house on the beach, and she would play ocean water, sounds, and the smell of the ocean. She said, yeah, I could almost feel it. But it's getting yourself all into that space, because the more you visualize and the more you do this and the more into it that you are, and then of course adding meditation, the more your reticular activating system is going to be activated and going after it and figuring out ways to do this. I've shared with you, on my vision board that I made in 2017 or 18, I can't even remember when, but I had on the left square of that vision board was my house on the water with the dock and the boat. Just was. And you know what? You couldn't see the house. The dock didn't look anything like our dock. There was no boat there, but the whole idea was there. It was the best picture I could find, and I cut it out and I put it on my vision board. And that's what we need to do. We need to get invested into the vision of what it is that we want. I'm going to sneeze. I hope not. Excuse me. I can't believe I just did that. Pardon me. Anyway, so this is, and the experts tell us this is how we see success. When we invest and focus in on the thing that we want, and that's where our energy is going, not on the thing that we don't want, then it's going to completely move the needle in our lives. It's pretty crazy. Amen. Oh, did you see what Sarah said? She said vision boards also cultivate gratitude when we see our visions come into reality. 100%. I mean, on my knees, gratitude. Yes, because when you see these things come together, then you start to understand and notice just how powerful your thoughts are. This is why we want to curate an environment, right? BJ Fogg. We want to curate and change our environment to support the things that we want, and you don't do that. You can't do that. I mean, you can't beat a sugar addiction if you've got sugar constantly in your face. You've got to make arrangements, even if the rest of the family is, is staying the course with the Oreos and all the other stuff, and you don't want to. Well, you need to make an arrangement. Excuse me. So that they can have their own separate pantry and you can have yours. It's important. Excuse me. Curating and curating your environment helps you get exactly what it is that you want. Excuse me. Dr. Dispenza says if you don't change your energy, your life isn't going to change. Did you hear me on that one? Excuse me. Meaning, this is why you have to have your visual, you have to change where your energy is going to go. You have to, or it's going to keep going to the same place that it went. This is massively important. I have to get some water. Hold on. God. Oh, sorry. That was crazy. My dog is over here snoring, and I'm in the basement. This side of the house, there's a lot of mothballs. I'm telling you, they're making me gag. Don't do well with it. Anyway, when you have a highly defined visual of what it is that you want, when you're putting your energy behind all of that too, that's when you get to start to create the exact focus that you want and start to go after your goals. Thing that I've noticed is this: it shortcuts things. It makes it simpler, easier to grasp, easier to push your energy into the thing that you want instead of pushing your energy into the thing that you don't want. If you don't change your energy, your life isn't going to change. That's what it was, Lisa. Good to see you, by the way. I'm glad you're here. Michael, do you hear my dog snoring, by the way? Michael Phelps said, there will be obstacles, there will be doubters, there will be mistakes, but with hard work, there is no limits. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. But think about it. Do you think Michael Phelps took the time to visualize? You better believe it. He said that when he was out there swimming, he would visualize himself touching the edge of the pool and knew exactly what that felt like. And he could feel it. He said he could feel it scratching with his fingernails the edge of the pool. Same thing with our friend Diana Nyad. We talk about her all the time. Find a way. We can all find a way. We can all find a way. Because the thing is, you can't put a limit on anything. The more you dream, the farther you'll get. That's also Michael Phelps. And this is exactly why I've made a decision this year to have my word be unstoppable, because unstoppable encompasses everything. And for the things that I want to do in my life and the accomplishments and the goals that I have, I'm going to need an unstoppable attitude. So what's yours? Your word of the year, it's an important one. I think now is a good time to start meditating on it and thinking about what it is that you want. What do you want to accomplish in your life? You know, what do you want to have? What do you want to do? What kind of relationships do you want? What kind of people do you want to hang out with? Start thinking about everything, because we have that ability, and we have the creativity, and we have the visual process to put it all together. Space Girl says she's going to go with the word balance. That's a really good one. Who is Space Girl, by the way? Maybe Space Girls. Is that my friend Christina? I wonder if it is. Anyway, I hope that this is just a short little something. I've been thinking about this a lot. What is my word of the year going to be? Why is that going to be my word? How am I going to focus my energy? How am I going to get this stuff done? Well, it all starts with what I want my focus to be, where I want to put my energy, and how I want to keep feeding that and not the other stuff. Hi, Laura. Very good to meet you. Anyway, so thanks again for joining me today. I really appreciate it. All of you who are on Facebook and also on YouTube. I appreciate the fact that you showed up. Let's what do you say we take 2022 by the ears and really do something with it? If you're with me, pinkies up. Thanks so much for joining me again. I will see you tomorrow. Peace be with you. I appreciate you. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.